Let's not waste any time and get right into it. The hardest hitting single target damage dealer in the rare category. There is one that hits harder than everyone else, and I'm going to show you the other ones that hit hard as well, and why we need to bring other heroes up to hit as hard as this one meta hero. Yes, he's hitting hard, but the content out there requires us to hit hard. You can say a lot of things like I do. It doesn't always matter about the damage, right? They've got debuffs. They've got other things that take into account whatever we're running. The dungeon that we're running, maybe it needs something specific, and we're bringing that person in there for that. So they don't necessarily have to hit hard. Well, the game is challenging, and they do need to hit hard. It's always good to have that meta hero out there, but we need to bring all these other heroes up to what Anguish is currently doing. And there are a couple out there that are pretty good, but they're still severely lacking. I've tested everyone on the codex. I'm going to show you the numbers. Unfortunately, the codex doesn't tell us how much speed each character has. And I'm really thinking that the speed is pretty low, and that maybe these speed tune heroes, the one that do damage based off of speed, can really get some damage in there once we give them a ring with speed main stat. We get some additional speed in there from a speed lead. Other ways we can get speed from substats, and we can get some really good damage off of them, maybe even more than we see for the lead hero right now. Maybe. I don't think so, but maybe. We're going to test that in a video, maybe even tomorrow. Let's get that in there. That was a lot of maybes. Tomorrow would be good. I'd like to see what speed does. I'd like to get on Tristan, since we all get Tristan for free. Give him that speed ring along with some crit rate, critical damage, get those speed buffs on himself, and look at the numbers beforehand, look at the numbers afterhand, and see what speed is really doing. See if we can get some speed damage, because I'm hoping it is. I'm hoping it's really good damage. So we've been running Anguish in the background. Let's jump over to the spreadsheet so you can see the other heroes that do damage and what I've come up with. The conclusion I've come up with is that Anguish is an absolute beast. That third ability hits for 8,110 total. That's 5 hits. It actually looks like 4 hits. So I played him very slowly against the dragon that we were just on to make sure that when he's fighting those whelps, the right one and the left one, when he goes to those and hits, his third ability actually hits 2 times. He'll hit once, twice, third ability 2 times, and then he'll hit one more for that 4th swing of the weapon. Even though he's only swinging 4 times, he's still actually hitting 5 times, and it totals up to 8,110, which is massive for 4 vigor. It's more damage pretty much than a lot of legendaries do on their single target 5 vigor costs. And again, we don't need to nerf this guy. Yes, he also does damage over time, which is massive. Damage over time, and any hero like him, the bleeds, the burns, the chills, the poisons, would be amazing if they applied as many as he does, even if they didn't have the damage. So what I'm saying, if there's a hero out there that applies this many damage over times, he would still be a really good hero, even if he didn't do crazy damage. This guy's doing crazy damage, and on top of that, he's applying these dots that do damage over time. That coupled together makes him very powerful. That's why everybody wants to use him. That's why I had him as my first level 60 back in beta. That's why I have him as my first level 60 in this game, because he's just so damn strong. If you look at the blue areas, you can see single, 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 and see the numbers. We've got Gareth over here with a single target, skill 3, hitting for 4,362. That is almost half of what Anguish is hitting for. I consider that really sad. I don't care what else this character does. Even though this character does do quite a bit of crowd control. Who cares? We need damage at this point, right? Seeing that kind of damage. And again, the difficulty of the game that we're playing. We need to raise up the damage of these heroes. Yes, we do want meta heroes. We want heroes that stand out. We want ones that we use in different areas of the game. Of course. But we can't have all these heroes hitting so lightly. This lady here actually hits really good damage based off of her max HP, or maybe the most HP she has at that current time. She hits really good for 4,000 on 2 hits. Again, still really lackluster. We need these heroes to hit much harder, because then you come down here and you see all these heroes that are hitting for baby numbers compared to those 3 I just showed you, and then like nothing compared to Anguish's 4 vigor cost. It shouldn't be that way. We need to be able to get damage out of these heroes. And some of these heroes are the speed heroes I was talking about. I said I have a feeling about speed-based damage dealers, that I think the speed is really low in the codex when we test them out. It gives us an idea of what their damage is, sure, for attack, because I think their attack is pretty standard, but speed is something totally different. Pretty much everybody's base speed is 100. It is. It's all 100. And then from there on the codex, I don't think they've changed that. I think everybody's base speed is really low, so we need to test this out. There is one here, Urins, This guy, I don't think I said his name right. Urins does not sound right at all. He does a 2 vigor cost ability that hits for 2,342. But if we can get up this decrease max HP debuff, he'll hit 2 times. So for 2 vigor, hitting for 4,600, that's massive. That would be the equivalent of Anguish's skill 3. For 4 vigor, hitting for 8,000. And then we've got a 2 vigor hitting for 4,000, but we have to get a debuff up. Anguish, we don't have to do anything with him. We've got to get this debuff up. He doesn't apply it on his first ability, but when we set things up, right, for them to do our moves in auto, we can't tell them, hey, do their first ability 1 time and then come in and do their second ability 2 times and switch back and forth. We have it set up to where we're just going to have them do a second ability for 2 vigor over and over and over. So we need somebody else to come in there and do this decrease max HP. And I don't know who else can do that. We need to find somebody that we can pair with him, because doing that damage would be nice, right? Somewhere in the game, I'm just trying to get their damage up. Look, these guys deserve to have better damage. There's no reason these rare heroes should be so far behind a guy that puts up damage over time. And just like I said a minute ago, if there was somebody out here who gives you a whole bunch of damage over time, like this young lady right here at number 20, then it wouldn't be that bad. If we could get up a whole bunch of dots and their damage is low, okay, who cares? They're getting damage from those dots on high HP targets. We're not worried about it. But that's not what's happening. Even her ability to apply dots isn't that massive. She has a low chance to apply dots. We need something to happen, and we don't need to lower his damage, because I'm telling you, this game is tuned up. It is tuned up to 11, and we need our heroes, all of them, doing more damage for us so that we can make it through content, because his single target third ability is, of course, what gets me through content. I go up to a boss, and if they have an arm or a leg, and it's not hard to take out that arm or a leg, then I come in there with this single target, and I just beat it down, right? It's gone. And then I come up to the boss, and I do massive damage to the boss, and I put those dots up. A lot of bosses other than Gorgos take 90% less dot damage. So he's limited on those bosses, but he's still doing this kind of damage. So it doesn't even matter. Like, this is the man. If you don't have Anguish, I'm sorry about it. Look in the shop. Look in the shop all the time and see if you can't find him, because eventually he'll be there, because he was there last week. And we just found out when I posted this video that this shop updates every single week. It is the token shop for you to be able to pick a hero that you don't have. So come down here, go down to the bottom right, and then you'll be able to trade in your shards here, and you'll get this gold currency down there at the bottom. You see it? Going up to 100, and you'll be able to pick one of these heroes here. Now, this is a full hero. Anguish was here. Instead of Frederick, it had Anguish, but I thought he was on the right-hand side. Anguish was here. You'll be able to get him eventually. I hope you do have him. I hope you're using him. There's just no other replacement than him. He is so good because there are so many dungeons that are also fire and frost. And he comes to you as Frost. That's where he's getting all that damage, because his wind one isn't good at all, and his fire weapon isn't good. They do AoE moves on that third ability, and they don't even hit amazingly hard. They can put up some damage over time, but who cares? We don't care about that. If his wind or fire did do a single target, just like his frost does, then I'd be really happy we'd be able to switch him out. But it's fine, because currently the dungeons that we face the most will be a fire dungeon there for hero advancement in the Burning Lands. Then we've got a relic advancement here in the Frozen Plains where we use him. And then we can use him in this one, and we can use him in that one if we want to. And we're able to use him in this dragon as well, because this dragon is all fire. And then even this dragon, I believe, is frost. So we've got it made. Like, there's no place that he can't go currently to help us out in the game and level up. It's all about Anguish. He is the man. Let me know your thoughts on Anguish. Let me know your thoughts on other heroes in the game. Should we bring them up? I think absolutely we should bring them up. We need other heroes to choose from. We need other heroes that are going to do damage and do other abilities. We don't need to standardize everything. Everybody doesn't need to do, for 4 vigor, 8,000 on their ability. There should be some people doing 10,000 on their ability, right, for 4 vigor. I don't mind that at all. Let's get somebody in there doing more damage than Anguish as far as raw damage goes, and bring everybody up to like 7,000. I mean, pretty much everyone's first ability is pretty standardized. A lot of the second abilities do somewhere around 1,500 to 2,000. We should kind of have a lot of those 4 vigor abilities and 5 vigor single target abilities doing comparable damage. Some will be higher, some will be lower, and that will be fine. But we can't have this way up there one guy and then everybody else is like way down. And I would say nerf him, but the content does not warrant that. The content warrants everybody being brought up. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I appreciate your time. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you all in a video soon.